to Weather Impact Live.
I know, it's a fresh new look. I
Ooh.
love it.
Yeah, well, I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. There's meteorologist Ross Muma. Ross, you're looking good today. I like the
Thank
tie
you. Thank you. Well,
pocket square combo.
so I don't think it's a secret here in the newsroom, but a group of us in Nightside do try and coordinate our outfits to a certain regard. But I was a little concerned because Anthony has a very similar looking tie as this.
Oh,
So if you look closely today, they're both black and gold and paisley, but his pattern's a little different.
I did
So I was
notice he has his watch matching it too. You watch for it at 5 o'clock. You'd be like, this guy has some style.
Yeah, I didn't go that far.
No, you failed. I just fixed my collar because I was looking at the camera, realizing that I'm just like all jacked up here for a second. I'm over here saying you're looking good while I look like a hot mess.
Hey, we only allow that on like Sunday mornings after a good Saturday night.
Yeah,
you know
those GMJs Sunday morning. They good. All right, let's talk about some weather, I suppose here, and starting off with the broader picture. East Coast got some rain off towards the north. Nice little front kicking off some severe weather off towards the west, and a little bit of rain actually out towards our west. Let's zoom in on this real quick because it does look like that stuff up along I-70. Oops, wrong way. I always do that.
Yeah, little sea breeze action going on. Gulf Coast sea breeze working its way inland there.
And I think our friends in Tampa actually put out which would make sense, a weather impact alert for this.
Yeah. Because I mean they've got a decent amount of storms there just to the east of I-75, southeast of Tampa.
Starting to get that time of year. I think this is one of the first times here in 2026 I've seen like a good solid sea breeze setup.
I think you're right. This probably is like the first true day.
Yeah, we got high pressure. It's warm out. I mean, all the ingredients for sea breeze, and I guess it makes sense that it would be maybe a bit more aggressive because the water temperatures are still kind of cold, so you have a bigger ocean land difference. But yeah, they're getting some storms out west. We're not going to see that here though.
No, yeah, not tonight. We might have a few isolated showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder out towards I-75 this evening, but I think the storm chance is very, very low tonight. So really just, a few spritzes of rain out there for folks in Lake City, Columbia County, maybe as far east as Stark. Robert, but for most of us in Jacksonville, I mean, I-95 and the beaches, we're going to be dry here through the rest of tonight.
Well, we're talking about these rain showers and some storms, and I'm going to flip the script here completely. We'll come back to this. Let's talk tropics.
Let's do it.
Because it's March 5th. And everybody talks about tropics.
And that's the first thing that pops into your head when you see the date on the calendar.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Hurricanes.
You're like 88 days until the start of hurricane season. This is what I want to talk about. I got a couple things here.
Okay.
One is that, remember we were talking about this last week with Melissa, upgrade it to a Cat 5 with sustained winds of 190 miles per hour post-analysis. Well, just yesterday, the National Hurricane Center has officially retired the name Melissa. Any surprise there, Ross?
I don't think so. Nah. Pretty historic storm as it made landfall in, what was that, Hispaniola?
Jamaica,
yeah.
Yeah, and Hispaniola, but Jamaica took like with the brunt of it. And yeah, when it made landfall, I mean, it made landfall as the strongest Cat 5 on record at landfall, because there's been stronger storms, but they've been in the ocean. That alone would have made it a retired name. I would have been kind of annoyed if they didn't retire it. So, because you say Melissa, people are just going to think about this, and the whole point of retiring it is so people don't get confused with previous storms or just even think about it. A new storm is its own thing. So, yeah, Melissa's been retired. And here on March 6th, 1908, so tomorrow, we had a cyclone out there. We had a hurricane.
What?
Yeah, we had a hurricane. Because why not?
It was named One?
It was One. So this is 1908. It was before the names were there. And before satellite imagery. So basically a couple ships reported that there was winds 75 to 80 miles per hour in a counterclockwise rotation out there.
Okay.
So I think one could debate that this probably was a broad area of low pressure that maybe have been subtropical or extratropical.
Rather than just a tropical.
Yeah, or rather than a hurricane. Like, I got this feeling like if we had satellite imagery in 1908, and I mean, 1908 was like 3 years after the Wright brothers. We didn't have satellites in space, okay? But Is that right? 1905 is when the Wright brothers flew.
Oh, you're testing my knowledge too far. I don't know.
History. Somebody in the comments will, But anyways, it wasn't that far. Like, we didn't
Yeah.
have satellites. I bet if we did, we would not have a hurricane with an eye in it in the Eastern Caribbean going from south to northeast. It just, yeah, this seems extra subtropical.
Yeah, I would have to concur with that. I don't think it would be a true hurricane.
But if you look at the NHC records, it does say Cat 1. I mean, all right.
So they do consider it one.
Yes, they do
Yeah.
consider it a Category 1 hurricane. It is the only hurricane on record, only really what would be a named storm on record in the month of March in the Atlantic.
Thankfully, that's not going to be the case this year.
Yeah. With
I-
that
we
said,
don't-
now no,
I don't need hurricane season to start.
let's take a
several
look at
months
the
early.
long range outlook.
Yeah.
No, we're good. Hurricane season doesn't start till June 1st. Don't forget May 15th. The NHC does put out the advisories now, but we're good. We're good for now. Okay, and we just deep breaths. Back to our let's talk about cold air. How about that?
The other side of the blade.
The other side. What would you take? That temperature in Yellowknife or the 81 here in Jax? I know this silly question, but sometimes you want some cooler air.
I don't. Maybe like an in between. Like maybe I would take Calgary there at 37. Like in the mountains. My friends just spent 2.5 weeks up there in Calgary, like snowboarding and just like
Ooh.
hiking through the mountains and stuff. The videos and pictures they got are great. So now I'm a little envious, and I'm like, maybe I would take a little spring break trip up there, ditch the heat down here on the First Coast, and cool off for a few days.
I mean, if we were gonna do skiing, I would take that Denver, go to the mountains, because like end of season skiing where there's a big snowpack is always fun. Because then you're in shorts and a t-shirt, but there's still snow on the ground.
Yeah.
It's great. That's good. Neither of us said the 81 in Jackson. It's starting to get too hot. I don't like the swing straight to May and June.
See,
temps.
and Lou gives me a heck about that, but it's like too hot too fast. Like I need a gradual warm up.
I want a season. I want
Yes.
spring. Little in there.
And like, okay, 81, 82, I can handle, although it is still 10
Yeah.
degrees above average. But like what we have on the way this weekend, when
Yeah.
like
Mid to high 80s.
yeah, mid to high 80s, like near record highs. First Coast, we're doing too much with the heat. We need to back it off a little
And
bit.
that's the other thing. We're gonna get there, and like I can handle the 80s, I can handle the 90s. Let's not rush into things here. Let's go on a couple dates
Yes.
first before we get into like the hot and heavy.
Court me
Yes.
first.
Give me some 60s. Give me some 70s.
Yes. Because it does feel like we've had like a bout of cold air where we have like, a couple freeze potentials. And then in like 3 days time, here we are, it's kind of what it feels like. I know it probably hasn't been that abrupt.
Yeah. But it's too much. Too much.
When I have the AC up on like the top level in my car, when I first get in,
yeah.
that's too much. I shouldn't have to do that.
You already hit the season where you sit in your car and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, it's hot. So yeah, with that said, tomorrow's 84 degrees.
Another warm one.
A little fog. Speaking of the fog though, and I'm going to come back to the fog here in a second. Actually, you know what? I'll bounce up to it here and we'll get ahead of it. Not as bad in Jacksonville, right? Like,
Yeah.
could see a little bit, but I think a lot of it's shifting towards the north.
Yeah, I think coastal areas could still see some fog, certainly, but I would say it's primarily Nassau, Camden, and Glenn counties probably have the best chance at perhaps see locally dense fog. Yeah, and this is kind of just another way to look at it. I think everyone has a chance to at least see some patchy fog, but when we're talking dense fog, less than a quarter mile, it's more so going to be north of Jacksonville and those coastal areas. So we're talking, St. Mary's up towards Kingsland, perhaps Brunswick, St. Simons, Robert. Like for Jacksonville itself, down towards Orange Park, maybe some light fog with the patchy fog, but not enough to cause a weather impact alert or anything like that.
And when we talk about sea fog, the reason why it's shifted towards the north is primarily because the wind change, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing it more out of the south, and fog, this type of fog specifically, is advection fog. It forms when you get warm air over cooler waters, but you also get that wind kind of blowing it on shore. So yeah, with that setup.
And the reason why we had it early in the week is we had the northeast wind.
Yes.
And now it's a little bit more of a southeasterly wind.
But as long as that pattern is in place, it's so stubborn. And there's a reason why every day we kind of had it the last few days until those winds started to change up here a little bit. So yeah, it's stubborn sea fog, one of the worst kinds of weather I personally feel to forecast for.
Yeah, I told Lou the other day, was that maybe yesterday? I was like, I'm about tired of the fog forecasts.
Yeah,
Like, I've had 2 or 3 days of it here now. The fog can come to an end for me.
just done with it. Let's now then we're getting into the heat, maybe a little bit of rain, and we'll talk about that in the extended forecast. Come here in just a few minutes. Let's go to a break real quick. Well, welcome back. We got still this warmer weather, as Ross just alluded to, rather hot heading into the weekend. But there could be a little bit of rain, just a little bit. We just actually had somebody on here. Dave said, "I need the rain." My what did he say exactly? He said, "I need my plants need water." Not him. His plants need water. When is that happening here? So let's walk through the future cast.
That's the
here.
burning question for everyone, I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, what? Like, okay, I was gonna throw up this graphic here in just a minute, but let's talk real quick about this. What is it? Minus 14.29 in the
Yeah.
deficit?
Yes, in September 1st, and I just saw the National Weather Service put something out that we're like 6 or 7 inches since November 1st.
Oh,
So in a different, a time frame or a shorter, time range there. So yeah, it's not good. The drought monitor, I don't know if you have that, but like the entire First Coast now is in that red extreme drought. The last few weeks, there's been a sliver of southeastern Georgia that just had the severe orange color. No, now everyone's included in the extreme drought. So I mean, and it's not just for us. I mean, it's out toward the Panhandle in Tallahassee. It's down towards I-4 in Orlando. Now, Central Florida has gotten a few showers as of late over the past week or so, and of course, Tampa's getting a little bit of some beneficial rain here now. But it truly is kind of like a statewide issue in Florida, and is quickly becoming a statewide issue in Georgia as well.
just incredible. And even when we do get the rain, what is it, like 5 to 10% of rain on any given heavy shower is the stuff that actually gets soaked into the ground. The rest of it usually gets evaporated. It becomes runoff, just goes straight back. I mean, the water cycle goes back into the rivers. Not all of it goes into the ground. So, like, let's say we got several days of heavy rainfall. That really isn't going to do a lot. This is going to be like months to get this of steady, good, functional rain during the wet season to kind of get us back out of this hole here. For today, though, it's a sort of a start out west. I mean, we got some stuff flaring up there along the I-75 corridor.
Yeah. Do you think this kind of overdoes it a little bit with some of the reflectivity
Yeah.
values? Like it'll probably just be some spotty showers. I think that kind of portrays it like there's going to be storms,
Yeah,
but I think it'll be more so in that way of just showery
I think some of those like
conditions.
kind of big cumulus clouds that decide they're going to rain for like 15 minutes type
Yeah.
deal. And that's going to be few and far between. No thunder out of this or anything. And even more so, what heading into tomorrow when we actually do get some showers pop up, maybe in Western Duval, but probably not in the Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think most of this will be at the very least west of the 295 Beltway. Maybe just a few spritzes of rain for western Duval County, as Robert mentioned. But we're primarily kind of watching in between Highway 301 and I-75 for some isolated to scattered showers. We'll watch. There's the potential for maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two, but we're not really expecting widespread rainfall at this time. And as Robert kind of advanced it, you saw, those showers started west of downtown and just continued to move westward thanks to that onshore wind. So if you live, well, let's say on Jacksonville's south side and you're hoping for some rain for your backyard or your garden, probably not a whole lot on the way for you tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be much. Like, this is just so. I think for most of us, and those areas that don't get the rain, it is going to be in those mid 80s here on your Friday. And this is going to be hot. It
Hmm.
really is going to feel very kind of summer like out there, very muggy. Our next real good chance of rain, probably not until the latter part of next week.
Yeah.
One thing we will have is kind of these little chances of rain, and one reason for it is this setup just towards our north. The same front that's bringing some severe weather across the central U.S. It's not going to stall out completely, but you're going to have this energy kind of here on Sunday and the Monday, right?
Yeah, that front, as you mentioned, kind of stalls out just to our north. I think there will be a chance for maybe some mid-level, like small waves of energy to traverse eastward. You
Hmm.
combine that with a little bit of a squeeze, some extra moisture at the surface, because it will feel a bit more humid, a bit muggier, and that onshore breeze that we have. All of that combined could perhaps just give a lift to a few isolated to scattered showers. But again, we're not talking like widespread rain. We're not talking, you're going to get a half inch in your rain gauge or anything like that. Few and far between with regards to the rain chances, but we do think outside of tomorrow, Sunday perhaps could be the next best chance for at least some of you to get a little bit of rain out there.
Just a little. This onshore flow kind of setup here. But I wouldn't let that cancel your plans or
Yeah.
anything. It would be more of an afternoon type of event, and at that, it's going to be isolated. Speaking of plans, let's talk really quick on this. The Gate River Run
Have
coming up. You did it last year, right?
I did it last year. I want to ask you, have you started hydrating? Have you started to prepare?
Does coffee count?
That definitely does not count. I think that's
Does
doing
drinking count?
that's
No.
doing the absolute opposite of what you want to do.
I know I have been. I've been trying to get at it. Getting just the high, but I need to do it better. Also like just spaghetti. That spaghetti is gonna be my dinner today and tomorrow.
Okay.
Get a little bit of that carbs up
Carbs.
in there,
'Cause- well,
and
this should be easier for you, right, than like the Donna?
yeah, I
Because
mean
the Donna was 13.1. This is
yeah.
9.3, right?
Yeah, I know 21K, 15. I'm getting that runner's thought, so I doing everything in kilometers apparently. But yeah, the 15, and I mean I ran a 10 this morning, so 15 shouldn't be that bad. The only difference is the bridges. I mean, you did what the gate last year.
Hmm.
Give me a general idea of what I should expect for the Hart Bridge.
Well, first you got the Main Street, right?
Yeah.
You got to go across the Main Street first. I mean, they're both picturesque. It is, once you get to the Heart, you're like kind of in the beating sun.
Hmm.
So it's warm. The sun's beating down on you, and you're already like 8 miles in. What I did was I turned on my favorite song and just powered to the top as best I could. Almost like you're in like the fourth quarter of a football game or something like that. So it's tough, but I think there's so many other people around that
Yeah.
like it's not hard to power through because you see other people
That's
doing the
true.
exact same thing that you're
Although-
doing, whether you know them or not.
It is a little depressing, though. I mean, I've run some of these runs with the bridges before, and going up one of those bridges, and you see people walking past you, and you're like, I need to power a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is not going.
Yeah. No, see, I think I ran like maybe a half or 2/3 of the way up the bridge until I was like side stitching it, and I was like, okay, I can't do anymore. But it is like it's a great feeling when you reach the summit, great views of the city and
And
stuff.
then
So
downhill
yeah, and
kind
then
of
it's an easy just
shootout.
downhill the whole way back to the finish line.
Speaking of the finish line, we're going to go to a break here real quick, and we're going to talk about where the finish line is and the starting line for the gate this year, and maybe what you need to avoid when you get close to the finish line. Ross is laughing. He knows what we're talking about here. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and of course, give you that 7-day outlook coming up here in just a minute. Well, still on the Gate River run here. Beautiful, beautiful weather for it. But do want to note, due to the stadium being refurbished, revamped, whatever you want to call it, for the stadium in the future, the parking lot around Lot J and that entire area, the Met Park, all of that,
Hmm.
no parking. Really, and that's where the start finish has been in the past. So it's been moved. The starting line is going to be right in front of the Orlick. The finish line is right at Hogan's Creek, right across the street from Intuition and First Coast News.
Oh, okay. Oh, so they shifted it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the finish line, people will be sprinting in front of our pond out there for like the last 300 feet of this run.
I hope they've got some shin guards for that last 500 yards.
Why is this worrisome, Ross?
Squaw! We've got some families of geese out there on Lake Deegan, or as Robert said, the ponds out in front of First Coast News. There's two that I know of mama hens and
With
their
their
nests
nest.
of eggs. The mamas, I don't think is really what you need to worry about. It's the papa goose or geese who are defending said nests.
They're ornery. So make sure you go.
Have
Is
good
it on your
reflexes.
Instagram and Facebook?
It's on my Facebook for sure, and on my X account.
So go to meteorologist Ross Muma, social media, and you can find a security footage that I'm sure will make you smile.
Probably not one of my proudest moments, but
I'm happy you shared it.
well, my like hometown friends who saw it, they were like, "Wow, you still got it! Like you were in dress shoes." The agility was somewhat impressive. Yeah, with like how quickly you moved, the bend in your back as you tried to arc away from where the bird was flying at you.
It is definitely one like you could share that and it would end up on like a Spike TV or what is not the version of Spike now, Chive or something like that, where they just show
Yes, I
like
know what you mean.
videos like that,
Yeah.
viral video. Yeah, it would be one of those.
Like
It's
America's Funniest
great.
Home Videos.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
I've gotten more interaction with that than I have
Oh,
any weather content.
of course.
Since like hurricane season.
You should have that at the intro to all your shorts.
Yeah.
And this meteorologist Ross Muma.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that was the point of that. So the finish line is going to be a little bit interesting, but everything has moved over. And also, if you're planning on heading to it, just remember the parking is not ideal this year because of all the construction. You probably want to get there earlier, the better, but at least the weather's looking good. It's not raining and you have to park a couple miles away. So
Yeah, good
okay.
weather for Saturday, whether you're at the Gate River Run or you're inland, or perhaps you're out at the beach. It's pretty good beach weekend as well. I mean,
Just a little cooler.
yeah.